Hey, everybody, on today's Locked On Bama, it's another day, another commitment. I mean, just keeps rolling along. You know how it is. Hunter Osborne has committed to the University of Alabama just like right now. So Jimmy and I are going to talk about that and what's next for the Crimson Tide. So hang with us.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Jimmy, how are you today?
Awesome. Always commitment days are fun, right? I mean, aren't we?
They are now.
They are right now, yeah. Since about 2008, since roughly 2008, commitment days are fun. And, Hunter's, I've been a big fan of Hunter from day one. And after watching his speech, I'm even a bigger fan. What a great kid, and a program that has fed Alabama a lot of players over the years. Hewitt High School in Trussville has been very kind to Alabama. Even Jay Barker went there, and I don't think he was the first Bama player to come from there. But boy, we've had so many since, including star defensive back Malachi Moore. Is from there, and yeah, I'm really excited about Hunter.
Yeah, a couple of things I gleaned from the press conference. First of all, thank you for making us your first listen. We appreciate you guys a ton. The couple of things I gleaned from his press conference or announcement process was that he's a good kid. I mean, once again, like Caleb Downs' announcement, his mom and his dad were there. His coach was there. He literally gave thanks to everybody. I mean, he could not have missed anybody. He gave thanks to every human being he knows. And yes, it made for sort of a drawn out moment, but it's his moment. I'm glad that he did it just the way he wanted to. And yeah, it was really good for him. Sorry, my dog is yapping my dog is yapping at the guy fixing our air conditioner. And if I would just make this dog, this little tiny yap dog, sleep upstairs where the air conditioner is out for an hour and a half, this dog would be like, no, I'm not yapping anymore if you'll just get this fixed. But anyway, by the way, we're both wearing official Alabama gear. You've got an Alabama shirt. I've got a Florida Bama t-shirt. Anywho, going back to this, yeah, he's just a good kid. He thanks his parents, thanks his coaches, thanks everybody. And the other thing I noticed is they have the same audio video team that we use on this podcast, apparently, because several times it either froze or his mic was bad or whatever. All joking aside, I think Hunter Osborne is fantastic. I think he's high floor, pretty decent ceiling. I don't think he can have the Will Anderson career, but I mean, okay, that's okay. He can have a really, really solid career, and I think he's got pro potential. There's no doubt about it. He's going to have to put on some weight. He talked about how it wasn't long ago, I guess, pretty long ago, in ninth grade, he weighed like 180 pounds, which in ninth grade is pretty heavy, I guess. But and now he's well above that, obviously. But I think he's going to have to put on even more weight. That's the other thing that stood out to me a little bit. He's going to probably have to put on a little bit more weight. But overall, man, I love having guys like him on the team. Just a super dude, a super player from playing in one of the toughest areas in the toughest classification in the state of Alabama where football is king. And you're right. In fact, Auburn's entire receiving core, I think, came from Hewitt Trussville. Worsham, Amari Kelly, Javarius Johnson. Yeah. So the Alabama had a quarterback, obviously, from Hewitt Trussville not too terribly long ago. They've got a running back that's at LSU. So this is a program that puts out talent, and he's been a big part of that. So congratulations to him. What I want to do, Jimmy, let me go ahead and take a break. Go ahead and talk about LinkedIn here for a second. The very last segment of this show is going to be the last little bit of his announcement for those who didn't get to see it. I was able to record the video on my phone, and So I'll put that on the end because I love watching these announcements, especially when it's a good dude like this. So let me go ahead and tell everybody about LinkedIn really quickly. LinkedIn, look, they're the absolute best. It helps you find the candidates you want to talk to and helps you do it faster. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs, as I said, helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? That's a crazy amount of folks. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions may, and I bet they will, apply. All right, Jimmy. So Hunter Osborne in the can, as they say. So what's next now? I mean, who's next for Alabama? Is it Miles McVay? What, August 11th or something?
Yeah, Miles McVay is the next scheduled announcement. I think we should, and we think that's going to be Alabama. Andrew Bone, our senior recruiting analyst at Bama Insider on the On3 network. He put in an official prediction for Miles McVay to Alabama. That's August 11th. I think there's a chance. Let's just say there's a chance between now and then that we'll get a flip. Ty Lockwood from Ohio that's committed to Ohio State, a kid from Tennessee. I think there's a good chance that we might hear something from him before August 11th. Alabama's put the hard court press on him. There's not a tight end committed in the class. Ohio State has a second tight end committed in Jelani Thurman, who Alabama evaluated for a long period of time. So I would look at Ty Lockwood as something that could happen before August 11th. But Miles McVay is the next scheduled announcement where we feel pretty good about the Crimson Tide's chances.
And I definitely want to talk about Ty Lockwood, but let's save that for when he does hopefully flip. And it sure looks like that's going to happen. I mean, it's really not even a secret anymore. That's all over everywhere, including Ohio State boards.
He inadvertently today on Twitter put up a commitment video. Only up for a few minutes. It was obviously an accident on his part. And hey, who's to say he won't change his mind? Nothing is official until it's official, right?
If you want to screw with Alabama fans, that's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, my good friend Chef Rossi, a great Twitter, a great message board poster on multiple Alabama sites. Chef, great sources, great dude. Like he said, it's the first time he can remember a kid ruining his own big moment. But
I've done that to myself several times. It wasn't a football commitment, but I've ruined my own moment more times than I'd like to remember.
It's not official. It's not official until Ty makes his announcement, whenever that is. And he may not. I mean, this is a kid committed to Ohio State. He's got a bunch of good offers, a bunch of good options. Not like Ohio State isn't. But he's a guy that Alabama has been recruiting for a while. Sometimes people think this all happens spur of the moment. It really hardly ever does. Those things have happened in the past. But Ty Lockwood is a person that Alabama has been looking at and evaluating for multiple months. This isn't, I know it feels like it could be happening fast because he's not a guy we talked about a lot, but and he's been committed to Ohio State since I think like last August. But Alabama has always been very highly aware of him. I think in the On3 consensus, this is the number 2 prospect in the whole state of Tennessee. So he's a pretty big deal.
Gosh, and Ty Lockwood looks like a really good player to me. I mean, he's going to be in the top 150 just about consensusly. But, it also speaks to the talent in the state of Alabama versus the talent state of Tennessee. He's the number 2 player in Tennessee, and he's, borderline top 50. There got to be like 8 or 9 guys from Alabama in the top 150 just about, right?
Well,
I mean, it's
Hunter Osborne. And let's get back to Hunter. I think Hunter is a great example of the point that you're making because, Hunter was a guy maybe a month ago we weren't sure was going to end up in Alabama's class, right? Well, let me tell you, if Hunter Osborne came out any other year, he's a super high priority for Alabama, like a D1, gotta get him guy. he just happens to be out in a year where there's like literally, I'm just off the top of my head, 6 defensive linemen from the state of Alabama alone good enough probably to play at Alabama. It's just a really deep at his position this year. But he's a guy that's just slam dunk in my mind good enough. And I think like you described him, I like the low, the high floor comment, because I think Hunter's proven he does have to add weight and size and mass. I hate making this comp because the comp's ridiculous, because we're talking about a guy that was like the 2nd or 3rd pick in the draft. But, Quinnen Williams, he's similar to Quinnen. I mean, in terms of his size at the same stage and the same type of player, kind of an outside player in high school that's going to add weight and become an interior player in college, I think reminds me of Quinnen. In his interview today, different than Q for sure, but so likable, like Quinnen. And I'm going to stick with that comp. It's not fair to Hunter because Q accomplished so much at Alabama that putting that level of expectation on anyone is ridiculous. But I think there are similarities in terms of his physical skill set and Q's at the same age.
I think so too, and I can't help. I just made your screen big, go off your Twitter handle and everything like that, and then you quit talking. I took too long to get into it. But the one thing about Quinnen, every time I think about Quinnen Williams, I think about that video of him being interviewed right before the Oklahoma game, and they were talking about Kyler Murray, and Quinnen wanted to say something like, "Oh yeah, we're going to be ready for his small butt." He wanted to say something like that, but then he said, he just paused and he smiled and said, I did. Okay, I don't know. I mean, it's just hilarious. Let me ask you one other thing before we get to the video here. There are rumors going around about Cameron Latu potentially being injured. One person was like crazy specific about it on a message board about, yeah, I think he'll be back around October 1st. And it was so specific that it makes me feel like it's untrue. But I am worried about a potential injury if there is one,
Well, we hear a lot of rumors at On3, and we never report on it. We haven't reported on this because we don't know. And really, we don't know because Alabama hasn't said anything. So until Alabama says something, we're not going to report anything at all. We hear those rumors, and I've heard the exact rumor you're talking about. And there could be something to this, but I don't believe that it's going to be as serious as the worst fears. But let's wait until we hear something from Alabama. As a matter of fact, Luke, I think there's a good chance we're going to hear from Alabama on this on Thursday. And but I'm not super concerned based on what I believe I know.
That is very good news and music to this man's ears. All right, Jimmy, I'm going to tell everybody about Built Bar. I love Built Bar. I know you love a Built Bar. Everybody loves a Built Bar. If you haven't tried Built Bar Puffs yet, you are depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. I'm not being hyperbolic. Guess what? There's a new flavor. Are you ready for it? It's delicious, indulgent cookie dough covered in chocolate. That's right. Built has done it again. Those crazy people at Built.com. Let me introduce you to our new favorite. It's cookie dough chunk puffs. They have light and chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks, and of course, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. All of the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it. Plus, it's healthy for you. That's the great part. Cookie dough chunk puffs are only 160 calories, and they have a whopping 15 grams of protein in them. That's a whopping 15 grams of protein, I say. You are going to love the new cookie dough chunk puff, whether you need a snack for your workout or a late night treat, or you just want to grab a quick bite or a supplement for your meal, whatever it is. Go get it, and get it at Built.com. Use promo code LOCK15. That's 15% off your order at Built.com using promo code LOCK15. All right, Jimmy, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to close this out with a video from Hunter Osborne, but you got any closing words for us, bro?
No, just happy about Hunter's choice, and just a brief statement on, it's so easy when we watch tape to look at someone's frame and their feet and their size, their athleticism, their physicality, their obvious skill set, their motor, all the things you look for in a defensive lineman. But one of the things we hardly ever talk about, because we don't get to see it on Huddle, you never get to see it on Huddle, is a kid's personality and their intelligence. And let me tell you, I think intelligence is something we don't talk about enough, because, hey, here's a perfect example. Everybody watching this watches NFL Network. Everybody watches the best players in the world in the National Football League. How many guys do you see in the NFL that are interviewed and talk all the time on camera and speak to us, and we get to know them? How many of those guys don't know that 2 + 3 is 5? I mean, there is a bonus to these really smart kids, and they're all over the NFL, and they're all over Alabama, and they're all over college football. But when I see and hear Hunter Osborne speak, I'm like, hey, this is a good kid. Luke's already pointed out 2 or 3 times, a good kid, a smart kid, and kids like him are successful in football. And it's a complicated sport. I mean, I've been watching it 30 years, and I watched some game tape today, and I learned some stuff today. I mean, it's a complicated sport, and I think these smarter kids have a tremendous advantage, and it's something we don't talk about enough. And I really liked our 3-minute get to know Hunter Osborne moments today.
Yeah, and the other thing that's so important when it comes to being smart on squad is that you need to be smart. You can't just come in. You got to let your smarts overtake your ego sometime. You got to say, okay, I'm really good and I'm not playing, and that frustrates me, but I'm behind, I don't know, Jonathan Allen. So maybe if I just hang on a little bit, I can learn something and then be Jonathan Allen my own self next year. So I think having smart, good kids also helps with team chemistry a lot. And so, yeah, that's another thing. But, Jimmy, everybody hang tight because it's just it's only like a minute or two that I got because I couldn't get the whole video because the whole video lasted a long time. But just trust me, he thanked everybody, and then he did this. So until tomorrow, everybody, roll tide.
Roll tide.
Like preparing, you do some push hands over somewhere. I was 180 pounds as a freshman. I'm sitting here 220 pounds now. Without him, that would not be possible. We worked so hard, went on so many plans. I'm forever grateful for him. But like I was saying, this is a long process, a long, hard journey. All the schools that offered me, all 53, thank you. It was some long nights, some long days, but I know where home is. I'd like to announce for the next 3 to 4 years that I'll be committed to. Right?
Yeah, where we going? Where we going?
All right, that was it. And, I didn't know we were going to come back, so I'll just say roll tide again.
I didn't know we were coming back either. Wow. Good thing I wasn't drinking my sweet tea. Almost drank right here on camera.
All right, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.